Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome back to another episode of the Drawing Journal. Alright, so as the title has already explained, I am going to be using pastels for the first time, and I am beyond excited. So many people have been equally excited for me to try these out, telling me how great they are and how much I'm going to love them. So I'm going to be putting them to the test. I got them just a few days ago. I haven't touched them. Here's the soft pastels that I'm using, the Faber Castell. And then I also have a small set of the Faber Castell Pitt pencils. I'll be incorporating this as well into today's live stream. I have a few tools that I gathered to do some blending. I have some makeup wipes here, a regular paper towel. I'm going to be trying a couple different brushes. This is a little firmer brush, and this is a nice soft blending brush that I'm going to try. I have a kneaded eraser over here, and that's about it. The paper that I am trying this out on is pastel matte paper. This is the paper that most people highly recommend. I was going to try a Canson paper, but I felt like this color paper kind of just worked with the idea that I had in mind. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started right away. So I'm just going to pick up some colors and start coloring. So this is the first time I've ever touched pastel to paper. So let's see what happens here. I never really gave pastels much thought. Way back in the day, like when I was still in high school or whatever, I tried oil pastels and I absolutely despised them. Of course, I had no idea what I was doing with them, and I tried it on regular sketchbook paper, so it was probably like the absolute worst idea in the world. Let's see. So I'm gonna be creating a landscape. I've been watching a lot of time lapses and things. Sorry, I forgot to hit record on my camera. I've been watching a lot of time lapses, tutorials that cover pastels. A lot of them have to do with landscapes, and I've also been watching a lot of Bob Ross recently. So that's kind of my inspiration for this piece. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm kind of following what I've seen in other videos. So I'm just gonna lay down kind of my colors, and then I'm gonna go about and blend them. Need kind of an orange color down here. So this is going to be kind of a partial sunset idea that I have in mind, and just gonna go for it. I have this really nice blue here. Start incorporating. I'm afraid that the scraping might make too much noise for my camera. So if it's making a lot of noise, let me know. I think I went live a few minutes before schedule because I just couldn't wait any longer. I couldn't wait any longer. So I don't see anybody in the chats just yet, but I'm sure they'll be showing up shortly. Had a lot of people already liking the video before it ever went live. So the color of the paper really doesn't make much sense for the color of sky that I'm doing, but it makes a lot more sense for what's going to happen down here. What I think is going to happen down here, because to be honest, I don't really know at this point. So I don't know how much this blends out. So I'm just kind of toying with it right now. I'm going to incorporate some other blues in here. All greetings, Nefka. Thanks for coming in and joining the live stream. You're the first person, I think. I don't know if anybody else is watching yet, but I just started working on the sky a little bit. You didn't miss too much. I just started. This is a really pretty turquoise color. I have not tested this paper. I have not tested these colors. Usually, one of the things that I like to do is I like to plan. I'm a big planner when it comes to my artwork. And so I have all these color palettes or these color charts with all of my mediums, and I haven't created a color chart with my pastels. And I might not need to because the pigment is so true to the color. So the pigment showing up on the paper is so true to the sticks that I might not even need to bother creating a color chart because I can simply look inside my box and I kind of have my color chart right here. Greetings, Anne. It's nice to see you in that you were able to make it to the live stream. All right, I'm going to incorporate another blue in here, the darker part of the sky up here. Hello, Jesse. Thanks for joining again for the live stream. You know, I have given more thought into doing live streams on Twitch, so I might end up doing that sometime later next month or something like that. Just I was sitting here kind of bored the other day, and I was like, you know, I feel like live streaming, but I don't have anything planned. Yes, Nefka, I have used. I actually just mentioned in the beginning of the live stream that the closest to these pastels I've ever tried was oil pastels, and I despise them. I did it back in high school. I did it on sketch paper. It really wasn't a true test to, for oil pastels. I could end up loving them, but that's the closest that I've ever gotten. Okay, so I'm going to try to blend this. The first technique that I wanted to try was using a brush, a really soft brush. So I'm going to try and see what this does. Because this is the sky, I really want it to be super soft. And I'm kind of already loving this right now. I can see that it's picking up a lot of the dust that's created. And so I'm hoping that if I use a soft enough brush, it's going to be like putting makeup on the paper. So I kind of like it. And one of the things that I'm noticing right now is that on this paper, although it feels like a really fine grit sandpaper, but it's kind of soft like a velvet. I really like that. And surprisingly, the colors are laying down pretty smooth. There's not a whole lot of grain, but then again, I also haven't put a lot of the pastel down on the paper yet. Still really early on in the layering process. One of the things I've certainly heard is that layering is an absolute necessity to get the high quality image that you know, for these pastels, you really have to do multiple layers. So I'm going to do multiple layers, but I can already see that I'm moving around a lot of dust, which kind of makes the blending really, really smooth. I'm kind of already in love with these, just because of how delicate the pigments are, and I just like the consistency right now. It's exactly what I imagined. It's exactly what I see on all the videos. It's just how delicate they seem to blend out. Although in some of the time lapses, it appears as though people are pretty rough with these, but I want to take a much more delicate approach. I want my sky to be very consistent, very smooth. I really like this method. I don't think I've seen anybody yet use kind of a soft brush, but I wanted to give it a try, and I think that this is probably going to be my preferred method of blending, at least in some cases. Obviously, in other cases, I'll use other methods of blending. But I kind of like this. It feels like putting makeup on. And if you ask my wife, I have experience putting her makeup on. So it's kind of nice. And it's really nice on this paper too. Paper's just perfect for it. All right. I'm gonna add some more layers. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna go back to this orange. Kind of strengthen the orange down here a little bit. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. And then I have this kind of ivory, this ivory yellow color that needs to come through. I like how simple it is to lay down the color. It just goes down so easy. And then, let's see, I need this kind of really light blue here. Sorry, I'm sure you can probably hear the scraping of the paper. I apologize for that, but hopefully it's not too loud. All right, so I need another blue. So here's my kind of like medium blue I was using. And then I'll use a little bit more of the darker blue just up here. I'm not quite sure how much I like the squares. I don't know if I'd prefer them in a potential different shape. But I guess it's just really working around the edges of the tape that kind of bother me. But I think that's something I could get used to for sure. I want to make sure that none of the paper is showing through here, so I want to get enough layers down. Okay, so I tried the brush. I'm gonna try one of these makeup pads that I have. So I'm gonna see what this is like for blending. And I'm gonna add a bit more pressure and see what I get. That blending is super smooth. Like, I'm trying to look at the comments. Yeah, you must. Yeah, you have to buy Pastels. I can already tell you that I love these because of how simple they are to lay down and how beautifully they blend. Oh my goodness, it's just perfect. So this makeup, okay, so downside, a little makeup pad. This is a cotton pad, and it is being torn up by the paper. And so I think I'm gonna have to scratch this method. So the little paper pads, bad idea. Bad idea. It's getting cut up by the paper and it's leaving these little fuzzy things. Yes, so again, the paper that I'm using is the pastel matte paper by Claire Fontaine. So I need to get rid of those little white fuzzies now because they're on the paper. I have an idea. I'm going to use a little bit of tape. I'm going to use a little bit of tape and I'm going to pick up those fuzzy things that little pad left behind. That worked. The little tape thingy worked perfectly. So the makeup pads, these things, they're no good. Don't blend with those. I'm going to switch back to the brush because I liked it the best. The paper that I was going to try the Canson paper, but I felt like this one just worked better with my idea for what I wanted to do for today's picture, for today's live stream. So you can see there's a ton of dust that the brush is picking up. So that's like a lot of wasted pigment, unfortunately. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that. So I think maybe that tells me that I can lay down less. Like I can lay less of the pastels down and still be able to blend them out really well. But I also kind of get the feeling that this brush is lifting it up off the paper a little bit. So the brush might be good for the first initial layering, but I don't know if it's going to keep lifting it up off the paper. Because I keep getting that problem there. And I don't want some of these, like I don't want the blue dust to come down here to the yellow and start turning green. That would be a very serious problem for me. So the brush works well, but it does appear to lift it off a little bit. So I need to do more. I'm going to switch back to this kind of ivory yellow color. And a little bit of this blue here. And then some of this darker blue. I'm actually going to, let's see, I'm going to throw some gray. I'm going to put some gray down too because it's a little bit saturated, and I'm going to try to mix this on the paper to see if I can get something a little less saturated. That seems to soften it a little bit. So I'm going to clean off my finger a little bit. These are pretty messy. And I'm going to try blending with my finger now. And I'm going to try to push it into the paper a little bit more. And see what kind of effect that I get. Since this is the sky, I really want it to be soft and smooth. I don't want any of that grain. That's funny. Well, so far what I'm experienced, I love them, so I think that it will be a good purchase to pick up some. And I just got the 48 pack of the half blocks, and it was like 20 pounds, 28 pounds or something like that. It wasn't a lot, so I'm getting a bit more smoother consistency by adding pressure and blending with my finger. So the brush is nice to get off like some of the excess and do a bit of basic blending, but for that smoothness, I'm afraid that the finger might be one of the best ways to do it. But it's starting to come out pretty smooth. I think this is like my third layer, so it's starting to come out pretty nicely. I don't want that gray to show up. I want to blend it. I want to mix it in. So I think I might try my brush a little bit. I want to lift that gray up and kind of blend the colors together. So dabbing the paper with the brush seems to be, well, yeah, I'm not going to damage my finger. This paper is actually really soft. It's not like sandpaper, so I think my finger will be okay. Um, I forget what I was saying, but dabbing the brush like this seems to help blend the colors together without pressing them into the paper, which seems beneficial if you're laying down a couple different colors and you want to blend them out before pushing them into the paper. Just something that I'm learning all of this just now. I haven't, so now I'm going to blend it through with my finger, and I'm adding a bit more pressure so that I can make sure those pigments stay on the paper. But so far, I think the sky is starting to look pretty. I do apologize for any of the discoloration that the live stream might have. Hopefully the colors they appear on my screen a bit duller than what they actually are. Unfortunately, it's hard to live stream the true colors, but if you can see this red dot over here by my shoulder, this red dot, that means my camera's recording. So I'm going to be recording this live stream as a time lapse, and I'll have the time lapse of me doing this uploaded at another time. So one of the things that I wanted to add to this is I wanted to add a bit of like sun rays. So I'm going to try, I'm imagining that my sun is about here. And so I'm just going to kind of create some lines. Just general lines shining out. And this might actually have been better to do with a pencil, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to take some white as well and do some white down here because it didn't show up as well as I thought it was going to. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to try this other brush that I have here because it's a bit firmer, and I'm going to try to like drag these lines out. I don't know how well that's going to work. It seems to be lifting off way too much of the pigment. Yeah, I think that's the wrong brush to use. Or maybe sideways like this. That seems to work a bit better. Yeah, that works. Works a little bit better. And I'll try to. There, that's pretty good. I like that. I need to make sure my finger's clean. Greetings, Carol. Thanks for joining the live stream. The sponge-like palette knives. Yeah, I really wanted to get some of the pan pastels, but they were just a bit too expensive for me at this moment. So I decided not to get them. I didn't want to go too crazy with the pastels that I got because, since they were a new kind of a new thing, I didn't want to risk not liking them. And so far, I like them quite a bit. So I don't necessarily regret not getting them, but I probably could have got them been happy with them. Okay, now I need to add some clouds. I'm gonna take this dark gray. I'm just gonna kind of block in like general location for where I want these clouds to show up. And I think what I'll probably, I really don't know how to go about blending these, but they're going to be kind of dark clouds. Bit of blue in them too. It probably doesn't look like much right now, but I have a method to the madness. Greetings, Lemmy. Yeah, I assumed that you could buy those pastel sponge thingies that you're referring to. I guess I didn't really think about it. All right, so let's add a bit of kind of a purple blue. I am not quite sure. Let's just go for it. Maybe if it's too purple, then I'll just cover it up with some blue. All right, let's add some of this blue here. Just to get that sky color in there a little bit. Or blending it out. I think I might add a little bit of the light blue in here too, just to kind of give the cloud a bit more shape. One of the things, since I have a few people here in the chat, one of the things I'd like to mention, a new feature to YouTube live streams is the super chat, which you can see down at the bottom of the chat box, and that's just it's an opportunity for you to leave a comment, post it at the top of the chat, and it's also a way for you to donate money to my channel, to help out. So if you're interested in helping my channel out, aside from sharing a video or sharing this live stream, if you can't afford to give anything, then you can at least share the live stream, let people know that it's going on, because that will help out a lot. Just wanted to put that out there. All right, let's go for some of the light blue, and then we'll try to blend out some of this stuff and see what happens here. I do really like the way these colors are coming out, though. They do look really nice. I love how true the pigments are as well. It's exactly, like some of the pencils, like colored pencils or things like that, you look at the lead, the pigment tip or whatever you want to call it, and you get this impression of what the color is, and then you put it on the paper and it's something totally different. But with these, the color is so true to what your eye sees on the stick. It's really quite refreshing. All right, I'm going to blend this out. I'm going to try another blending method. So I have one of these, I have a couple of these little stump things. So I'm going to try to blend this out because I really want the pigment to stick in. And I want to have a lot of control over it, because I really don't want this blending with the stuff underneath. One of the things that I looked into a lot with these pastels is how to preserve them, and if there's like a workable fixative or something like that that I can use to kind of do layering and protect the layer underneath. And what I've found is that though there's a lot of different kind of a lot of different fixatives for pastels, and there's even some workable fixatives. A lot of people have complained about the way that it changes the colors and it makes everything darker, and that a lot of people don't fix their final product. And for me, it's a little unsettling to think that the only way to protect my artwork is to like be delicate with it and put it behind glass. That's really what I've found. The biggest downside for pastels is it seems like you can't preserve the artwork very well, which is it's kind of disheartening. But in the grand scheme of things, I think if you can make a really nice pastel work and then kind of just get a nice photo of it and make prints and have that memory of it, I guess it really doesn't matter whether or not the original piece survives a long time or not. But it is a bit disheartening to find that pastels don't really preserve all that well. So Spectrafix, I'll have to look into that brand. I did end up buying some fixative. I forget the brand. It's over there. I'm not gonna go get it, but I'll test it out at a later date to see how it works. But the problem is it's not a workable fixative that I got. I went to a local art store here in Katowice and picked it up, and it was a brand that I recognized, so I thought I'd give it a try. I'm pretty satisfied with the way that this is starting to come out. I really like these colors. I have to pause and just say that I really like these colors, um, and I think they're coming out pretty nicely. The gray is a little bit strong over here, but I still have a long ways to go with working this piece. So I'm gonna switch. That side's getting kind of dark. I'm gonna try my finger really quick. I thought I wanted to use the blending stump because it gave me more control, but I really like using my finger. Seems to be working well. You know, one of the things that I have to say that I'm kind of surprised at right now is how well this is staying put and not wanting to blend out really far away from where I initially laid it. Because I really don't want these blues and these grays mixing with the yellows down here. I want it to be nice and soft, but I don't want the colors to blend together. And surprisingly, they're staying pretty much right where I put them. I'm gonna pick up my brush and do a little bit of kind of get rid of the excess. try to get rid of the excess so that the colors don't blend with the other colors. I want them to stay away. I'm afraid to like blow any air because I have so much dust on my desk right now. I don't want to blow it all over the place. All right, so that's not too bad for the clouds. I still have more that I want to do with them. I'm kind of missing a greenish color, so I'm going to add some green, just like a little bit in some spots. I just want to have some fun color variation in here. There. Let's see, need a little bit more of this color here. Now that I have that darker gray laid down, I can go over it with some lighter color, but not be too oversaturated. I can feel that the paper is starting to get smoother with each layer, and so I know that eventually it's going to stop taking some of the pigments. Right. I'm going to add a little bit more of this sky blue. I'm going to start shaping the clouds a bit more, bringing out some of the highlights. I'm doing kind of like small little half circles. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. It's my first time, so to know that it's starting to come together pretty well is a good feeling. So add a bit more of the blue in there. Here. Right. And here. Some more. That's pretty good. Probably blend this out. Maybe, I'm going to add a little bit more of the darker blue. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more of this in a few locations just to get that contrast, to keep that contrast up. Gosh, I can't get over how somewhat simple this is. I don't know, I don't want to say that this is my new favorite medium, but goodness, it's kind of scary how easy it is. Thanks for coming by, Ultramarine Blue. Hope you can make it later on as well. Yes. Well, Jesse, I've never used Pastel either. You got to try it. Oh my goodness, you got to try it. Every When I did the unboxing video and showed you that I got some new art supplies, and all of like the 100 comments of people saying how much I was going to love pastels, every single time I read one of their comments, I just smiled because I was like, not all of these people can be wrong. So there has to be some validity in all of these people saying you're gonna love pastels. And the truth is, I already love them. Right now. They're just so much fun. I love the way this sky is coming out, and I've never done this before. So it's kind of nice. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna blend this out now. See what happens. I'm gonna kind of steer away from the highlights right now. Focus on darker blues. Then I'll blend out the highlights so that I don't mix the colors too much. Or maybe I should just try it. I'll just try to do the highlights and all the colors all at once and just see what happens. So I've noticed that with the line marks, they're showing up. So where I've pressed on the paper, even though I've barely pressed, sorry about that. Hopefully that wasn't messed up too long. Thank you, Anne, for letting me know. So the colors don't seem to want to blend too much together, which is really great at this point. But one of the things I have to mention is that where I'm touching and the way that I'm touching, so my pencil strokes are making a huge difference, which I didn't expect. I did not expect that. So some of these lines are going to show up more than I anticipated. I was trying to be delicate with the amount of color that I put on, and I wasn't expecting them to stay put so well. So there's something that I learned. It's really great though. I like that control. I like to have that control, which is really great. Yeah, so that thing that popped up on my screen, one of the issues that I have is that I only have my DSLR camera, and most DSLRs only allow you to record video for 30 minutes at a time. So every 30 minutes you'll see that thing pop up on the screen, and I do apologize for that. I do hope that in the future I can afford to get a camcorder so that my live streams are less interrupted. So if you'd like to help make that happen faster, you can go over to my Patreon page. But yeah. Okay, I need to dust off some of the yellow part of the sky. And I'm scared to death of it. I want this to be softer, and I don't want this dust all over the place. All right. That seems to work super well to do that. All right, let's see here. I still want some blending going on here. I still want some. So I'm going to switch back to this kind of medium blue, and I'm going to do some real details now. I'm going to go in now that I know my kind of pencil strokes are relevant. I can go in and I can add these details, and then I can just soften them up a little bit. So I'm going to go in here and add some real details to it, because I'm going to be streaming for a long time. Like, I blocked out a good 5 hours for this stream, and I'm not afraid to sit here 5 hours straight with everybody and and live stream the entire process of this creation. The idea that I have in my mind that I'm putting on paper right now, yeah, it's very detailed. This is something that I came up with over the weekend, and I probably spent like 2 hours developing the idea for the landscape that I wanted to do. And as you can see, I'm already adding a ton of detail to the sky. Can I name the scenery that I'm? No. This scenery doesn't exist. It's not a real place. It's just something that I designed in Photoshop. It's going to have some mountains. It's going to have some water. It's going to have some trees. Basically, what I wanted to do, being that this is the first time that I've ever used pastels, I wanted to create something that kind of incorporated a lot of different techniques. So it has a sky, it has mountains, trees, it has ground, other foliage, and water. So it has all those things, and yeah, it doesn't have a name because it doesn't exist. It's not like a reference photo. It's not a reference photo. So it's just an idea, a sketch, I guess you could say, but a digital sketch in Photoshop. Yep, I got my water right here. Thanks, Anne, for taking care of me. Oh, hello, Coffee Cat. It's great to see you in the live stream. I think there was quite a few people really excited for today's live stream because I knew that I was going to be playing with pastels for the first time. But I honestly I don't know if anybody was more excited than me. So I even started the live stream a bit early because I was like, no, can't wait no more. If they're late, then they're late. I couldn't wait no more though. I had to get started. All right. I think that's good for this blue. I'm going to add more of this lighter sky blue color now. I'm going to use, I might finish off with some of the Pitt pencils here in the sky. Maybe. I could probably finish it off with just the blocks. I'll use the Pitt pencils when I'm doing the trees and more of the detail work. I'm gonna tapping the corner of this thing into this section here because there's a lot of like pinholes in the clouds and things, and I kind of want those to show up a bit. So the question, am I very good at Photoshop? Um, I use Photoshop for all of my planning, all of my prep work I do in Photoshop. One of the things that I often stress in my tutorials is the art of planning. And I am a huge planner. Like, I almost never do any artwork without planning. Whether that's simply collecting reference photos or completely designing the piece in Photoshop. I think that I'm probably above average when it comes to Photoshop skills as a professional traditional artist. I'm not a digital artist, so um, I don't do a lot of digital work. I have done some. I've been commissioned to do some digital work like logo design and in other website picture editing, design, and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for the Photoshop side of my art. But I'm pretty good. I'm pretty skilled in Photoshop. Like I know my way around Photoshop. Um, I do a lot of I've done a lot of photography in the past, and so I also work with Lightroom a little bit. I've done some time lapse, like landscape time lapse, like outdoor time lapses and stuff like that. I have a few on my channel, but I always liked photography, and I think it's a really great skill to kind of double up on. Like, if you're going to be an artist, be a double major artist where you also, you know, major in photography. Because photography eliminates like not being able to draw, and you can focus on other really important skills of art, which is like um, lighting or composition. So those are really good skills to develop, and photography is perfect for that. All right, so let's do a little bit of blending. Let's do a little bit of blending, and then I'm just about done with the sky. I did recently do my first digital time lapse here on YouTube. It was a collaboration with Safi Rosa. She's a professional digital artist, or she has her degree at least. But it was a super fun project, awesome collaboration that I really, really enjoyed. So that was that was a few weeks ago, but you can still go back and find the video fairly easily. I can really feel the paper starting to get smoother underneath my finger where I blend this stuff out. Sky is, I don't know, I'd say the sky's about 90% done. I don't want to overdo it, but I really wanted to create a dynamic sky, like some really dark clouds, um, a lot of contrast. I wanted to see just how well these layer, and I did that first initial gradient from this kind of orange, yellow, light blue to dark blue, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. It's like this is kind of a dream medium right now for me. So I want to get rid of some of that excess dust. Just gonna softly brush it away with this soft bristled brush. I have a hair. Get it out of there. There we go. So now I'm going to incorporate some white. I'm going to use some white to do the final highlights for the clouds. And I think that's gonna be it for the sky. And then we're gonna start, in the famous words of Bob Ross, we're gonna start making some big decisions here real soon. I got this. Actually, I don't even think this is white. Either that or I have two white. So I have two of these white pastels. Um, I'm gonna keep the corner nice and sharp. You know, you're absolutely right, Coffee Cat. New mediums, they can be a handful, they can be so frustrating, but I swear to you, I don't know if I've ever had this much fun since like the last time I finger painted. I feel kind of like like in first grade where they just give you some acrylic paint and some white paper to finger paint on. But gosh, I'm just having them so much fun with this. So much fun. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna be doing some of the white highlights around the edges, and I'll probably use the stump, the blending stump, to kind of get blend out this detail. I don't know if I want to use my finger just yet. This is what's really going to help these clouds stick off the page. I'm adding a little bit more pressure, but I'm still kind of just playing around and letting it crumble onto the paper a little bit. Some of these highlights here are supposed to be softer, so I'll just kind of put them in and then blend them out with my finger. Yeah, I used to be, before I went to college, I used to be into games a lot. Jesse, referring to your game design, yeah. But in high school, like when I started learning to draw people and things, I really wanted to get into character development for video games because I loved video games. Um, but it was just something that never happened for me. I never went to art school or anything like that, and I think that art school isn't necessary to become a great artist, but it's something that can certainly help you get into the more professional job field, the job market, where artists kind of go for game design and things like that. I don't know too many people. Um, I don't know anybody in game design, but I imagine that if you were to go to art school, it'd kind of help you build those network connections a little. I'm glad to hear that. The sky is looking real. That's exactly what I'm going for. I want this landscape to be realistic. I want it to feel real. Like it could be a real place. That's what I want. Sorry, I'm a bit focused right now. So let's see. So my first impression of pastels. Let's just go over that a little bit. My first impression is that I love them. The things that I might not like is the preservability of the final work, and all this extra dust. You can see all this dust here. Not I'm not a huge fan of that. So we'll see when it comes to cleaning up. See how all that works out. But those are the couple uh, obvious drawbacks that I see right now. But as far as like the layering process and just the way they look, I am absolutely in love with them. just too much fun, and surprisingly simple. Like, I have to say that they are surprisingly simple and easy to use. Um, so there's that. The vibrancy, oh my goodness, the color vibrancy is just gorgeous. I know there's absolutely no way you are seeing what I'm seeing right now, which is very unfortunate. But like I said, I'm recording it, so I'll have the higher quality time lapse available soon. Probably next week, I think, is what I'll try to do. Because, oh, one of the things I have to mention, since this isn't officially, this is just a drawing journal, so it's not really like a tutorial or anything. It's kind of just like the Hangout on my channel, my Hangout live stream. But what is it? Forget what. So tomorrow I have a video going up that I am exceptionally proud of. If you've been following my channel for some time, then you probably recognize my video editing skills and just the way that I edit some of my time lapses. Like, I don't normally do like the what you often see on YouTube, where it's like, oh, it's another drawing time lapse where it's the same camera angle and it's the same music that every artist on YouTube uses over and over and over again. I like to create stories with my editing and with my drawing. I like to show you the kind of the process that goes behind the scenes, and I like to add those video clips to my time lapses, and tomorrow is no exception to that. Like, tomorrow's video is really kind of special, and it was not very often, but a few times a year, I just get this huge spike of inspiration when I'm working on a piece, and these new ideas come to mind, and the artwork takes on much more of a life than I anticipated. And this past Saturday is exactly what happened. So I was getting ready to do a painting, and I had really no real intentions for this painting. It was just going to be a quick, simple. I really didn't plan on spending more than an hour on this painting, but it really just kind of came to life and created something new. And the time lapse reflects that. In my opinion, the time lapse reflects that, and I'm very proud of it. And I hope that you guys check it out tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow to watch, and I'm very excited about it. Just had to share that with you. Because one of the things that I've always kind of secretly focused on is creating that one video on my channel that goes semi-viral, that helps skyrocket my channel into a place where it creates sustainability. And I kind of have that feeling. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, but I kind of have that feeling about tomorrow's video. Okay, have I got special fixative for pastels, or would just use the one you use? So I looked into fixatives, and I mentioned this, I think maybe just before you got into the live chat, Coffee Cat. A lot of people complain about the fixatives changing the colors and whatnot. So I don't know. I did pick up a fixative from the local art store here, and I'm going to test it Most likely I won't test it on this piece because I'm going to spend a lot of time on this piece, and I'd rather test it on something that I don't really care about all that much. This piece is probably going to be something that I care about. All right, so I need a little bit more of this light blue, and I think I need a bit more of this. So I'm going to go in here and just add a little bit more depth to the highlights here. Thank you, Anne. I really appreciate that. It's one of the things that um, I mention a lot, is that some of my favorite comments that I get on my artwork isn't about the artwork, but it's about the video I create around my artwork. And so I always appreciate those comments a lot, talking about my editing and just all of that. I mean, I appreciate all comments, all compliments, but the ones on my video editing skills I really, really enjoy because sometimes I put more effort into my video editing than I do the drawing itself because it's so video is so expressive, and it's something that I really, really enjoy doing as part of my creating process. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this kind of purpley blue. This is a little bit lighter than before, but I feel like there needs to be some more purple. There's going to be a lot of orange in this piece. It's going to kind of be a fall-like landscape. So I want to make sure that I got plenty of purple up here in the clouds and stuff. Greetings, Chrissy. Thanks for joining the live stream. I'm glad you were able to make it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that are liking the way that this is starting to look. I like the way that it's starting to look, that's for sure. It's been so much fun so far. I could I feel like I could never get bored of this. Just to sit here all day and blend things and just create has really, really been fun. Thanks to many of you in the chats. So I always appreciate you coming by and hanging out. I don't being here in Poland and not being able to speak the language yet. You know, it's always nice to have some friends on the internet to hang out in the live stream with. I wish the time difference wasn't so difficult for me. All right, so let's see. I don't want to fiddle too much. I don't want to spend all day on this sky, but it's just so fun. So fun. I don't want to stop. All right, I'm going to try to gently remove some of the dust. Just make it a bit softer. Go. All right, so that's it for the sky, I think. Um, Now let me clean off my fingers a little bit and get a little bit of water. Yes, I am working on pastel matte. another subtle drawback is the mess. All right, so I need to use my mouse for a second. All right, so like I said, we're going to be making some big decisions now. Have right, trying to think of what color. I should probably use this dark gray color. I think this would be. Yeah, I have no technique for creating mountains, so I'm just gonna make it up, and I'm gonna come right here. And I'm just gonna scoot. I'm using the corner and I'm scooting it across the paper, and I'm just gonna kind of create this mountain right in the middle of the sky. I don't even want to look because I love the sky and I don't want to mess anything up, but I'm just going for it. So there's my mountain. There's my mountain. Let's do that kind of again and sharpen the edge. Yeah. Big decisions. I'm just going to kind of scrape down a little bit. Oh, video stopped recording. All right, so question, do I like the paper? Yes, I do like the paper. I don't seem to be limited by anything at this point as far as layering, which I really, really like. I don't want to have any restrictions. Okay. I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to try to pull this down and just get a little bit more coverage. See how that works. I'm using the sharp edge to kind of really press in those colors because I want this to be nice and sharp. Okay. So here's my start. Here's my start of a mountain. And I mentioned it, I mentioned this way in the beginning. I said that I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross, which is kind of the inspiration for this, this landscape, which is why I'm going to have mountains, aside from the fact that I want to try a bunch of different techniques. But so I'm trying to reinterpret his techniques for mountains in my own way with pastels. So let's see. I want to create. I'm trying to think of what color I should use. I think I'm going to use this gray color here. Okay, so I'm going to use this gray color. Let's see. And I'm just going to use the corner and I'm going to kind of drag it down and try to create kind of a face. Let's see. I'm just using kind of like a scratchy drag to see if I can kind of create some lighting on this mountain here. I don't like it. I don't like it. I need to go back to my gray really quick. I need some more dark value here. So I'm just going to kind of cover it up and ignore it. It needs to be a bit darker for this this technique here. All right, there we go. And I'm going to use that same brush and kind of just bring that dust down like that. That's a little bit better. Go. Right. Yes, a happy little mountain. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that gray. I'm gonna go a bit brighter this time with the gray. Just kind of scribble in a little bit of mountain face. Just like this. Kind of crisscrossing, changing directions a little bit. And I'll create another face over here. Kind of keeping my pastel strokes a little jagged and just kind of all over the place a little bit. But trying to maintain that same direction. Let's see. I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow color to kind of get that highlight from the sun. And especially up here. Bit over. Oh. So is the texture okay for me? Yes, you're right. I hate texture, but I kind of like the texture of this paper. It's kind of scratchy, but it's also soft at the same time. So there's a bit of benefit to it. And now I'm going to take this blue color. I'm going to add a shadow. I'm not quite getting the texture that I want, but since this is just kind of a initial layer, I'll just kind of scribble it on and get a little bit of color. Down like that. So not bad. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up a little bit with the chat. Let me check. Oh, thank you, Anne. I'm glad I have a little bit of Bob Ross in me. He was an inspiration when I was a kid. I remember watching like all the time. I'm sorry to hear that, Artista. Hopefully everything at the doctor's appointment is good. I will have the time lapse for this later, so even if you don't catch the full live stream, you'll still be able to see the finished product and all that fun stuff. All right, so there's a little bit of texture in the mountain. Let's go with I'm going to go with kind of this gray-green color. And I'm just going to kind of create some weird random details. Just kind of add a little bit of texture and color to the mountain. Nothing too much. I'm going to kind of blend it out a little bit just to soften it. I don't want everything to show up in it. I think that green looks pretty nice. I'm going to switch back to this yellow color and add a little bit more highlight to it. kind of add this wherever. I want to add a little bit to this side as well. And I'll blend it out. So that is my first mountain that I've done in pastel. Not exactly the most professional techniques, but seemed to work out pretty well. So no, I've never mixed watercolors with acrylic as far as landscapes. Actually, watercolors is one of those other mediums that I've never really have done before. I have watercolor pencils, but that is it. I don't have any other form of watercolor. So, yeah, haven't done much there. I'm gonna kind of press this in with my finger. Actually, I'm gonna use my stump. I wanna keep that pigment there nice and strong, so I want to press it into the paper, especially right there at the edge. Create a nice sharp mountain edge. All right, I'm gonna take this brush. I'm gonna soften it down here. And I'm going to create my next layer, mountains. So, just do this real quick. Thanks, Coffee Cat. All right, so I'm going to pick. See, I'm going to pick this. I'm going to pick this purple color, and I'm going to do mountains. That's going to kind of another big decision here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of crumble across like this and down, all the way up. And come like this. I don't think I'm putting it high enough. They need to. I need to cover up the paper there. I really like this purple. I think I chose the right color though. Gosh, I used about half the stick. That's probably too much. Just kind of blend that down a little bit and try to sharpen the edge best I can. But I like the color. I definitely chose the right color. I guess the color of the paper doesn't, it doesn't affect that part too much, so I think that it's okay. Let me just try to get some of that dust off. Gosh, there's so much dust. All right. So I'm gonna choose the yellow color again and do some of these highlights on the mountains. So I'm just gonna use the edge and kind of scrape over. Choose a few peaks and whatnot to kind of highlight and just do some real loose stuff. Kind of switch direction a little bit and some highlights over here. It's here, here, and then this mountain here is kind of coming in front like that. Now time for some shadows, and I think for the shadows I might just use, I'll use a little bit of blue, I guess, see what happens with that. Add a few shadows here and there. It's a bit too saturated, this blue color, so I'll probably cover it up with some gray or something like that. Yeah, it's a bit too saturated. So I don't know what's the complement to blue is orange. I don't want to do that. So maybe I'll choose this brown color. We'll try to soften that blue, and then I'll add some gray to it or something. So it's just a bit too bright to be the shadow. But the mountains should be, they should be kind of orangey anyway, because of the time of day. But they're a bit too saturated, so I think I'll add a bit of dark gray. Let's see. Oh goodness. I'm gonna blend some of this out and see what it looks like. I need to get rid of some of the dust because it's hard to tell what I'm even doing. But the purple does look good. I have to say that again. The purple looks good to me. see. I'm just gonna take some white. Let's just kind of this with some white and create some snowy effect. Try to do this, I guess. A little bit. It's a little bit better, I think. That's better. This is I'm not really experienced with landscapes. Like I don't do a lot of landscapes, and so this is kind of just a huge experiment. But so far, I think that it's turning out pretty well. All right, I'm going to blend this out. Although I kind of like the texture. I wish I could keep the texture, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to press the texture in. Like I like it the way that it is. I don't know what to do. Maybe if I just take this and roll it and see if that traps that texture there. I want to press it in without like crushing it into a powder, just to, you know, keep those details there. Yeah, I'm trying to stay pretty loose with this piece. Um, I just, since it's my first time, I'm not trying to take it too seriously, but I do want to make sure that I try, just a bunch of different kind of techniques and see what I can and can't do with pastels. At least starting off, like there's so much that I've seen done with them that it's what inspired me in the first place to kind of go out and get pastels and try them out. So I want to try a bunch of different techniques and just kind of explore what's possible with them. So I'm going to smooth out some of the texture. I have a lot of details in the foreground that are going to start coming out anyway, so. So no, Christy, I think actually you just came to the live stream, so welcome. The this paper is not rough in the sense that it's like sandpaper, so it doesn't hurt my finger at all to sit there and rub it, not even the slightest. And I have pretty pretty soft fingers. So in no way am I like conditioned to like rub my finger on 800 grit sandpaper. Okay, so I'm a little bit at a loss. I have a lot of dust on this page right now, and I'm scared to death to like push it away. I don't want it touching the other colors. I'm afraid that I just can't get past it. There's just so much dust. All right, so I'm going to leave the dust alone for now. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking is that the details with the sticks, they don't really want to stay all that much. So I'll probably end up adding details in the end uh, with my pencils instead. But I think for now that's pretty good with the background. So I'm gonna start adding some of the foreground stuff now. Yes, I caught the recording. Got it. I got it recording now. There's a message behind me. For some reason, it says my battery is dying, but that's not possible. um, okay. Okay, I would really like to just get rid of this dust, but can't right now. I'm going to see. I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to try to get rid of some of this on the side here. So much dust. Okay, so sorry, recording has stopped again. Yeah, I have it taped down really well, so I don't want to move anything. Um, what is going on with my camera? For some reason, the recording continues to stop, and I don't know why. So I'm going to wait for a moment and see if this isn't going to continue doing this. I do apologize. Just going to give it a couple seconds. In the meantime, I guess maybe I can try to clean some of this up. I have a paper towel here. Okay. I don't know what the deal is. For some reason, it's not recording anymore. I mean, obviously you can still see it, but for the time lapse that I wanted to make of it. Let's see. So I'm just going to take this dark. This is black. Yeah, I'm just gonna take black. Let me try to record one more time before I do anything. And if it records, I will continue. If it doesn't record, then I'm going to check to see if there might be something wrong with my camera, which will only take a couple minutes. So I can only record 30 minutes uninterrupted, but I have I have a 60, yeah. So hold on a second. It's so frustrating to work with this camera. So I think that I can. Okay, so the problem seems to be that it seems to be that my memory card is full. Okay, so I think I might have to shut off my camera in order to replace my memory card. You know what? Whatever. I don't know. Are you guys willing to wait for me to continue so that I can replace my memory card? Because I can just continue. I didn't expect it to take this long, but I guess whatever. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna take my memory card out. It's gonna go black. All right. I have my memory card. I'm sorry, I do apologize. No, I don't need it. I need a bigger memory card, not a coffee break. I didn't think that it would fill up so quickly. Now, one of the things that I did change is I did do an uncompressed file for my video footage. I really wanted the footage to be the highest quality that I could get. Unfortunately, that seems to have cost me the ability to record the entire thing in one sitting. So it looks like it's going to take about 15 minutes for that. Actually, I think I might be able to turn my camera back on. Let's see if it. Yeah, so it's going to say no memory card. Actually, hold on a second. I do have this memory card here. So I'm going to put in this smaller memory card. And we'll record. I'll record what I can on this smaller memory card. Format. Okay. Okay. So I should be able to record for maybe another hour, hopefully. So let's try to do this quick. Okay, I'm going to use black. That's one thing I know for sure. Get my sketch back up. Okay, so I'm going to be using black. And Sorry, trying to get everything situated. I guess that's the drawback of doing live streams is you can never really plan all this stuff. And we're recording. All right, so I'm going to have kind of this ground like here. Come down that, up, down, just over. There. So here's my ground. I'm just going to get that nice and blocked in. All right, there we go. I think that's good for the ground. And I'll blend it with this brush. I'll just kind of try to push it in a little bit. This is just going to be the kind of the base blocking the spot for the ground. Thank you, Wilhelm. I appreciate that. All right. We're still recording, so everything seems to be good. Hopefully we didn't lose too many people off in the kitchen making coffee and tea. Although tea does sound really nice. All right. Now for some fun. I have no idea how I'm going to do trees and still maintain kind of that, that texture. Like I need the texture. I'm going to have to definitely bring out my pencils. Let's just see. So here's the pencils that I'm going to be using. Just the 12 pack of the Faber Castell Pitt pencils. So let's see here. I'm going to have a tree. I have a tree coming up right here with some branches and whatnot. I'm just going to put in some bases. I have a tree here, more with some branches. Nothing too major going on with these trees right now. I'm going to add some colors here in a second. Just want to kind of place them in the scene. I still have a lot of detail stuff to do with this. Big tree here. Tree kind of going like this. Another one like this. Big tree. I think I'll do another big tree here and one right behind it. And another one here. I'll do a tree here and a tree here. There. Okay. So for these trees, goodness, I don't know. Let me try. I'm going to try this dark green to create kind of the evergreens. And I have no idea how this is going to work out. But I'm basically just going to kind of go back and forth and I know these are going to blend out like really easy, and I don't really have, like any idea on how to kind of keep the texture along with the details. So I need to go back over this with black. There's just, the green is too light, and I can always go back over it with color. I'm going to block these in with black instead. And I have an evergreen tree here. So I'm going to start with the evergreens, and I'll add some color to them, and then I'll start with I'll work on the other trees afterwards. No, the atmosphere isn't dark. I'm just working on the base color, which I'm using black to do that. So that's the only reason it appears dark. There's a lot of brightness, a lot of color about to come in, but I'm working in layers, and I'm starting with the darkest layer. So that's the only reason it seems dark right now, but it will brighten up. So don't worry, don't worry. If I could keep that if I could keep that tree exactly the way it is, I would be super happy. But I know I'm going to lose all of that texture, and I wish that could just save it. Because that's like the perfect tree. It has all those little holes in it that let the sky shine through and all that fun stuff, and I just don't know what to do to save that texture. All right, so that's not bad for the trees, in my opinion. Let's. I'm gonna pick kind of a softer green, I guess. Just go in and see what I can add here for highlights. Just a little bit. Maybe I'll add a little bit of the yellow from the sky as well. I think that would be a good highlight color for these trees is that yellow that I used in the sky. Um, Actually, I'm gonna use a little bit brighter yellow just to make them shine. And I'm being pretty loose with it because I know that I'm gonna lose like 90% of the texture that's going on here, which is kind of heartbreaking because I really, really like this texture that I have on the paper. But this is without blending it. I don't think that there's any way, I don't think there's really any way for me to save it. A bit more yellow. This yellow is kind of perfect, so I'm going to throw a bit more on there. All right, so moving on to all these other trees. So I'm just gonna use this orange. One moment. So I have this orange. I'm gonna just start putting in some of the fluffier trees. I'm just going to ignore the fact that I am going to lose the texture. Really have no idea what to do. Oh, thank you so much, Chrissy. Thank you, Coffee Cat. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the live stream. Gosh, it's been fun, but how long have I been on now? I don't even know at this point, but getting a little hungry. And you guys bringing up coffee and tea and stuff like that makes me want to go make tea. All right. This I'm just kind of using this color. I don't know. I like this color, but it's the wrong color. This is the wrong color. I have a lot more. Sorry, I had to do that. um, let's see here. I'm just gonna add a bit of it here. Grass. Um, I'm gonna go for a brighter orange. This is super bright orange. I don't really know what to do as far as like getting that leaf texture. I'm just gonna kind of make marks on the paper a little bit. I'm gonna get my colors down and then I'll go through and I'll do some blending. This is like roadwork orange. This is the brightest orange I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh. It's like fluorescent lights being shined on my face. I need some red now. I'm gonna go in with some red. Just kind of scribbling. None of this detail really is like what I want to see. So I'm hoping that I can salvage a little bit of it with, I don't know. I like this red. This red is kind of nice. Exactly what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go in with some brown and just kind of like, I don't know, try to create some sense of texture and whatnot. Just kind of break up some of these colors because it's a bit too much. All right, let's see what blending it does. Well, blending certainly toned down some of those super bright oranges, so that's good. All right, I think that's a little bit better. Let's do, I don't know, let's do a little bit more orange. Maybe this orange here, and I'm just gonna try to add some leaves and petals and stuff. Thank you, Moni. I think that, yeah, Moni. So I'm going to try to add some highlights, and hopefully that will give my trees and my bushes a little bit more depth and a little bit more, texture. Similar to how the cloud worked, like I noticed that after putting on so many layers, the it just kind of, the texture was left from the pencil strokes. So I'm hoping that this helps a little bit. Let's see here. Yeah, so it doesn't blend out quite as much this time around. Just nice. I'm getting some of those really good textures that I want. I think if I do it a few times, I should be able to call it good with the texture there. At the very least, I like the mountains in the sky. A bit of grass. Just a bit of grass there. And go through with some more texture. I think I'll add a little bit with the red as well and just kind of try to build as much unique texture in the leaves as I can with these trees, bushes. All right, let's go in with a little bit. Let's see here. I'm trying to think what color. I think I'm going to use this kind of orangey brown color. I think, yeah, that's the color right there. That's the color that I need. I don't want to do too much of the color. I don't want to completely change the color of the trees. I just want to try to add a bit more detail and texture to it. But I think this is the right color here. I wish I had names for the colors, but I don't know. They're not labeled. At least I don't think so. No, they're not. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to remind everybody, or if you don't know, the new feature that they added on YouTube for the live streams. You have the super chat down at the bottom that lets you, donate to the person streaming. So if you're feeling generous, you can do that. And I will appreciate it. All right, so let's go ahead and add some sticks just to kind of bring these bushes and trees together. These pencils make a kind of a weird sound, like a chalkboard almost. Actually. All right, there's some kind of details, I guess. Hard to say whether or not I like them. But I think that's coming to life. I think once I add a bit more of the like the foreground features where some of the more prominent details are meant to be, I think it will start to come out a bit better. So I'll just kind of blend that out, keep it softer. All right, so one of the things that I have here, I need to, let me do some of the ground. Let me figure out what I still need, still one more feature here that I have, my layer process. All right, so let's do some of this. I like this green color, so I'm just gonna go in and kind of add some highlights and some rocky stuff like this. That's a pretty good color, I think. And over here. Let's see. I feel like I need another color. Let's do kind of a peachy color. Bit over here as well. Right. Just blend that out. I think I'm going to use some of my pencil to create some finer grass kind of stuff. Let's see if we have a color here that I kind of have this dark green. I'm just going to go through and kind of add some grass stuff. Just a little bit. Just to break up that black that I used for the foreground. I don't want it to be all black and stuff, so I think this works well to break up that flat grayish stuff that I put there initially. All right. Use this dark brown. I'm going to just use it to make some shadows. I think that's good there. I'm going to use my black pencil to come in here and make this tree trunk a bit more permanent. Some more of the lines in there. See what's next. Yes, so I have these. I have a couple trees here. I have a tree here, like a dead tree. I have planned for this. And I'm using my pencil. I want to see how well this works as far as maintaining the fine line. a second branch kind of just coming up. Yeah, just like that. Use a little bit of this color here just to give it a tree bark along the side. Just like that. And I have one other tree that's coming up here, kind of curving all the way up to the sky. And it's got a bunch of little branches. I'm just kind of twirling my pencil and letting the branches come out. And then there's going to be a tree here too, just a little like bush. Can't really see it though. Let's go through with some of these orange color here just to create this bush. I'm going to be a bit looser with these first initial layers because of just how much it blends out first. And then I'll start adding some of the petals and leaves and all that fun stuff. Chat's been pretty quiet so far. Hopefully you're all still having fun. Again, I'd like to mention tomorrow's video. I know that most of you probably sticking around this late probably was already here when I mentioned it, but tomorrow's video is going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you check it out. It will be live real early in the morning, so don't miss out. Alright, so let's add some of this color. Let's try some yellow here. What's this color? Doesn't say. Let's just try to add some smaller details here that won't just disappear. Such a mess. That's good to hear, Coffee Cat. I will say that, so the unboxing video had this tape that I wasn't really excited about because it's not the tape that I really like. But I wanted to test it out, and so that tape will be tested in tomorrow's video. I will say that I'm not pleased entirely. I will have to find the tape that I really like and have it ordered, but Jackson's Art Supply doesn't carry the tape. They should. They should carry the tape, but they don't. All right, let's just add some branches in here, although it doesn't really seem to want to do anything. I feel like I've pretty much maxed out the layers there. The branches don't want to come in. Try to add a bit more detail here. Yeah, it just doesn't want to do anything. It's just disappearing. All the detail and everything. It's just going away. So I feel like I've kind of reached the limit. It's paper. I can't get anything to show up. I want detail. It's failing me. It doesn't look right. It's just a powder at this point. It doesn't want to do anything. So I'm gonna try to add the colors and just kind of not touch it, because that seems to be the only option I have, is to not touch it anymore after I lay down these colors, because it just wants to turn into a powder and it's all muddy and gross. So I guess I'll have to deal with that. All right, so I'm going to take my sky blue. So I have this kind of water coming through here. And it's all going to lay pretty much right here. And let's see if I can do this. Some waterfall stuff happening here. And take this sky blue. Add some highlights to the water. And I'm going to add some yellows and some oranges and just kind of all kinds of colors into the water here. I'll even throw in some of the dark purple from the mountains. All right, I'll take a little bit more white into the water. I think I need some more oranges in the water as well, just to bring in some of the colors from the surrounding. Thank you, Coffee Cat. I'm glad you like the waterfalls. Still need some blues. You know, I have some of the brush and pencil textured fixative, and I do want to try it with pastels on. So I will keep you updated on that. Because that's the exact thought that I had as far as a good fixative. So great minds think alike, because that's the exact thought that I had. So I'm pretty much done with this piece. I still got some work to do. Let's see here. I want to incorporate a bit of the purple into my foreground a little bit, just where some of the shadows are. I really like this purple, and it complements the blue and the oranges, and just, yeah, it's a really nice purple. Let's see. Still want some more white in here. I think that's pretty good for the water. Now let's add some last final touches to this. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I wanted. Let's add some red grass. I'm just gonna finish off by adding some last little detail stuff, and that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna clean my gosh darn hands. And then I'm gonna have to clean up this ridiculous mess that I have. Let's see. I want to incorporate a little bit of this orange for some grass and some flowers and whatnot. So I'm just going to throw some of that in here. Just a little bit. Some of this last final bit of detail is really good for breaking up all the stuff that's blurry and kind of just bringing it all together. You need, this is kind of like a dirt thing here that's like going down into the water. I want to bring that up and add a little bit of, let's see, just add a bit of highlight to it. that. And go through and try to add some rocks. I don't know if that's the right color though. Maybe this brown color? I don't know. Let's try to, I'll just add some like rock thingies and try to highlight them, I guess. And then, oh, what color to highlight rocks with? Maybe this color here. Yeah, that's not too bad of a color. Oh, what else? What else? Can anybody think of anything else? I think I need some more of that purple. Some of this here for some more grass. Yeah, Jackson's Art Supply finally has that powder blender and the touch-up texture and all that other stuff. They've had the spray fixatives for quite some time, so I'm gonna have to get some of the touch-up texture and powder blender and stuff, and I already have some of the UArt paper, so excited to try out those products finally. Been wanting to try them forever now. Right. Well, this is pretty much. I think this is pretty much done. I don't even know if I should try to play with it anymore. I think I might just kill it if I do. I'm still not happy with these trees though. The trees do not have what I want them to have. It's still too bright in a lot of places, which is really disheartening. I'm just gonna pick black. I'm just gonna go with a black. See if black can't solve that problem. Because there's no real texture to it, and it doesn't look good. These trees, they just don't look good. Yeah, I'll probably finish up the live stream here shortly, but most likely I won't continue working on this. Not because I'm not having any fun, it's just I think that for the first piece, I mean, this is the first time I ever used pastels. I didn't know what I was doing, um, but I kind of got what I wanted to get out of it. Um, so yeah, I'll try to clean up and preserve this piece the best way that I possibly can. I'll certainly try to take a nice picture of it so that you can all see it better. I think the mountains. Let me do this really quick. This mountain lost everything. This mountain over here just lost everything. doesn't have any detail to it anymore. There. That makes me feel a little bit better. But all of the detail is gone. Because it was like touched or... Alright, let me wipe off my hands a little bit. I'm going to stop recording because this is officially complete. Yeah, I know. Stop it. Alright. Okay, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this very long. I don't even know how long I've been doing this live stream for, but I'm out of breath. It was so much. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of learning. Like this is the first time I ever used Pastels or anything like that. There's a lot of things that I need to figure out as far as incorporating the pencils with the blocks and what I can do and what I should avoid trying to do and all that stuff. But here's my landscape. It's not as vibrant as I really wanted it to be. See if I can brighten it for you guys real quick. There. That's a little bit brighter, maybe a bit too bright, but yeah, I'm going to clean up now. Thanks for the suggestion, Anne, about trying colored pencils over top. I probably won't with this piece, but this piece is done. I need to move on to something else. It was a ton of fun. I'm kind of tired. I'm super hungry, so I'm gonna get some food. Remember, new video tomorrow that I'm super excited about. And then also, if you'd like to see, I do a live stream tutorial every week that's private just for Patreon. So if you like my live streams, then you might consider going over to my Patreon page. Otherwise, you also have access to my reference photos and color palettes and all that fun stuff. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. I'll live stream again on Monday. But I've also been thinking about doing some live streams during the week on Twitch. I may start that, I don't know, in the next month or so. Possibly. I can't guarantee it, but I might. So if you're interested, I'll keep you updated on that. Don't worry about that. But if you happen to miss it on YouTube, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And the links are in the description for those. Anyways, my hands are super dirty, so I'm going to clean off, put things away. I'll see you guys next time. All right? Take care. Peace.